Start your engines. Welcome to the Girapur Grand Prix, or as we like to call it, the interdimensional death race that definitely won't end in total catastrophe. It's not your average racing event. No, this isn't NASCAR. This isn't even close to your local go-kart track. This is what happens when you give planeswalkers, goblins, and magical racers a chance to prove who's the fastest. Girapur is a city that looks like what would happen if steampunk had a baby with a science fiction convention. What started out as a tiny, underground night race during the Inventors Fair has now become the multiverse's most ridiculous racing spectacle. The Night Minister Ganti, because every magical city needs to have a shady government official running things, decided to take this backyard sprint and turn it into a legitimate, government-sanctioned interdimensional festival. And the prize? The Aether Spark. Not just a trophy, no. This is an artifact that, theoretically, lets you planeswalk. Yes, theoretically. And the teams are hungry for it, each for their own reasons. Let's meet our contestants, shall we? First, we have the Aether Rangers, representing Avishkar, or formerly Kaladesh. They're basically the multiverse's most diverse engineering team. Humans, elves, Vidalcan, dwarves. If you have a creature in mind, they're probably in it. Led by Pia Nalar. Yeah, that's Chandra's mom. And the mysteriously masked pilot Spitfire, who is secretly Sita Varma, daughter of Mohar Varma, a former consul of Avishkar, which he's still calling Kaladesh. They're here to prove that innovation isn't just about building cool stuff, but looking cool while doing it. The Cloudspire racing team won last year's championship and has this year's secret weapon, Chandra Nalar. Because when you're thinking racing strategy, obviously the first thing you want is a pyromancer who can potentially turn the entire track into a massive bonfire. Subtle? No. Potentially catastrophic? Absolutely. The Goblin Rocketeers, led by Duretti, approach racing like a mad scientist approaches, well, like everything. Their vehicles aren't so much precision engineering as they are controlled explosions waiting to happen. Their strategy appears to be go fast and hope nothing explodes, which, spoiler alert, is definitely going to fail. The Goblins ended up on this plane by breaking the velocity limit barrier and want the grand prize to find a way back home and share the news. Remember a few expansions ago we were introduced to Duskmourn, the House of Horrors, with human survivor Winter secretly working for the demon Valgavoth? Well, he's back with Duskmourn's own race team, the Speed Demons. Great name, no notes. It's filled with possessed racers with only one goal in mind: victory at all costs. They're fighting dirty, and if Winter wins, surely this time the house will grant us freedom. Right? Are you the type of fan who enjoys throwing yourself through a table to celebrate your team? Then maybe you want to root for the champions of Amonkhet. Powerful chariots, weathering sandstorms, loud chanting, war boys with fanatical devotion and willingness to sacrifice themselves for the win. All they need is a flame-throwing guitar for vibes. Amonkhet wants the spark to rebuild their plane. The race itself, it's less a competition and more Mario Kart. For adults. Hey editor, adults can play Mario Kart. We're talking about racing through Avishkar's technical wonderland, then through the Omen paths to Amonkhet's sandy hellscape, and finally finishing in Muraganda, a plane filled with dinosaurs. Now that you're familiar with the settings and teams, let's jump straight to the story. The story revolves around our pyromantic troublemaker, Chandra Nalar. Having survived the second Phyrexian invasion, she finally settled down with Nissa, who was de-sparked after the war. Knowing how much it would mean for Nissa to be able to planeswalk back to Zendikar, Chandra decided to join the Girapur Grand Prix to win the Aether Spark for her partner. But why not join her mom's team? Chandra needs the best chance to win, and that's the defending champion. The other main POV character we spend time with is Sita, aka Spitfire. She wants the spark to escape her oppressive and traditional values daddy. And she's harboring major jealousy issues towards Avishkar's favorite pyro daughter, who's getting hounded constantly by paparazzi everywhere she goes and gets all the media coverage. How dare she? The race went on how you would expect it to go. Chaos, fire, and a lot of screaming. But what happened next might surprise you. Remember this cute fuzzy orange creature all the way back in Thunder Junction? Yep, that's Lute. He was taken by Jason Vraska at the time, but later captured by Valgavoth in Duskmorn. And now, Lute finds himself trapped in a cage, imprisoned by the speed demons. They've been exploiting his rare ability to sense omen paths to find hidden shortcuts that give them an edge in this race. Chandra, upon seeing the captured Lute, was torn between winning and doing the right thing. In the end, she decided to sacrifice her position in the race by hopping on the back of a dinosaur. What? And freed Lute, swearing to protect it at all costs. It's what Nissa would want. Pia asks Spitfire to go back and help Chandra, but she clicks off her radio, focused on getting the win. Prepare for trouble and make it double. Jace and Vraska loom in the background of this story, trying to get their favorite Pokemon, Lute, back in their possession. Jace stirs up political unrest by offering his mind control powers to help Sita's father, Mohar Varma, make Kaladesh great again and restore it to the good old days before fair wages. Cut to the finish line, where there were two clear winners about to cross: the cheating speed demons led by Winter, and the Ether Rangers led by the masked hero Spitfire. Just as both were about to win, a magical wall appeared out of nowhere, causing both vehicles to crash. Instead of fans waving flags, the masses are panicking as consulate thugs attack, attempting a coup. As if things couldn't get worse, sirens blare across the city of Girapur. Invasion! Dragons? What? Dragons from God knows where start raining hellfire down on the city. What is going on? Amidst the chaos, a familiar duo appeared: Jace Beleren and Vraska. Turns out, the race accident, the coup, the dragon invasion, all of it, nothing more than elaborate distractions. While chaos erupted all around him, Jace focused on what truly mattered: reclaiming Lute. Chandra and Lute's vehicle came crashing down to Girapur, landing right in front of Jace. The two locked eyes with each other. Jace, spotting Lute in Chandra's arms, asked her to hand the creature over. Chandra, sensing her former teammate had changed for the worse, did not trust him. The two erupted into a duel, with Jace ending up mind-controlling every racer on the track to attack Chandra. When Pia's life is threatened, Sita puts her jealousy aside and comes to Chandra's aid because she can't bear to see another daughter lose her mother like she did. Although Chandra was joined by Spitfire, Pia, and Nissa, they were no match for the rest of the racing teams combined. Jace managed to retrieve Lute from Chandra and disappear. The story ended with Archangel Elspeth coming to save the day from the dragon invasion. Winter attempted to walk on foot to finish the race, but was overtaken by the champions of Amonkhet, resulting in Winter being dragged back through a spooky door, screaming. The champions of Amonkhet celebrate their win and claim the Ether Spark. And Sita does get freedom from her father, because he's in prison. That's the Vroom Vroom story. What do you think Jace and Vraska were truly up to? Why was Jace so secretive he couldn't even let Chandra know of his plans? Are we going to see an evil Jace as the next supervillain? And why are dragons showing up in planes they didn't exist before? Remember that one in Bloomborough? What gives? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching this video, and as always, you're cool.